live from the iBeacon Experience Days. Welcome. Who are you and what are you doing?
Hello, Jacqueline from the festival of Appril. I had an idea 2.5 years ago, and well, at the moment we are here for the 3rd year.
So
with the festival.
App and April. So what does the festival do?
We have a program for people who invent apps, who build apps, who design apps, who put them in the market. And then we will have meetings, dinners, network, all kinds of stuff during 1 month in 5 cities.
5 cities, okay.
Yeah.
And you?
My name is Adriaan van Eck. 2 years ago I visited Appril and I had some slight remarks on how we could make it better. So I asked Jacqueline, you want to have coffee? And then she lured me into Appril and now I'm a member of the team.
Yeah. So and what is the strength of Appril?
I think our strength is that we combine we bring together all kinds of disciplines. So we're not only tech focused, we also have a strong focus in marketing, we have a strong arts program, and we have our vision is really to go from concept to technology, and that's our strength.
So what do people do then in that month? They make stuff? Or is it different? Or
I think they get smarter.
Okay.
And they meet new people. So that's the main focus. But love to have more events that provides people to learn and make things, be practical.
Hey, you said five or 6 cities.
Yeah.
Is that in the Netherlands or an international thing, or is that your ambition? Or?
Well, we have organizations from outside of Holland who are interested in the concept. So 2 weeks ago, we have finished our license program. Yeah. So I'm gonna call them again and say, hey, this is our DNA, this is our licenses, and you can take it further into another country.
Yeah, I saw you at another hackers event earlier, a couple of months ago. So the two of you will know everything about so-called developer scene in the Netherlands. If you had to characterize, let me stick to Amsterdam, say first. Is it a healthy scene? Is it a lot of people working together? How would you characterize it?
I think it's a healthy scene. There are a lot of people who are very entrepreneurial. They love to take risks. They love to work for themselves or in smaller teams. They don't specifically need to have a lot of social security and stuff. What I would like to see, what I would personally very much like to see, if we could make it better, that we just have a couple of really inspiring, great names in the world where people say like, hey, due to the atmosphere in Amsterdam, where Amsterdam and Appril are part of, there is some kind of an atmosphere where people are really getting not only technological ahead, but also implementing in the world and making some new products or services which are known in the world and looked up to, like, hey, this is great.
So, for example, for Berlin helped, say, SoundCloud or something. So you need sort of a big names. As well. Is that what? Some big names and some big names, like for instance TomTom. That's a good example. Maybe Layer. That's a good example. You know, really advanced, ahead, and something to look up to. Yeah, and would that help? Because of course I see some. Quite a few people actually, I think, from Amsterdam. They go to America, or they go half the time to America, because that seemed to be important. Formidable. Oh ja, die was ook op Lowlands. Because that still seemed to be important to get investors, etc. So do you agree? Do we need a couple of more successes to?
Well, what I think we need is more exposure for the things we're doing here. Because you see a lot of people who are working on their own project and they have a lot of ideas, a lot of plans, but they have a difficulty in showing the world what we're doing here. So I think we need more promotion, more PR for the Dutch community, because we have a lot of things going on, but more like organizations who write about tech, they write about stuff what's going on in America. Mm-hmm. And I think we should be more proud of the things we're doing here and show the world what we can do.
And why is it important? And what then?
Because we don't have oil, or we don't have we have our brains, and we have our creativity, and we have our way of making money and making ideas bigger. Mm-hmm. So if you talk about the future, what do we need? We need more brain capacity.
Yeah. We don't want to be we don't want to be a following continent. You know, to take it broader than just Holland, but also Europe. You don't want things always be invented in the United States and being produced in China. I don't think we want that. You don't want it for yourself. You don't want it for your children and the future economy. So, and we're not going to produce new cars in Holland. Yeah, maybe not, or whatever. You know, so you have to be in a new world where innovativeness and creativity is your strength. And I think that's our strength. And I think that needs people who share knowledge and create networks and trust within themselves. And that is what we as Amsterdam doing, but I think more in a technological focus, and we as Appril do in a more business chain focus. And that's why it's what we get both enthusiastic about.
Yeah. And if you look at education, how is education, how does it fit with, say, the world of apps, developers, etc.? But very often you see kids as well, 16-year-olds that didn't go to school. It seemed to be less and less necessary to go to school to do something.
We have now 4 schools, 4 academic schools who are interested in participating in the festival. So we would like to develop a program, one creativity and one development. So during the festival or during the year, we can go around with this program. Mm-hmm. And what you see is these schools are really old, and they have their own program, but they're not used to this new world.
Yeah. Yes, as you're saying yes, but so is that like you say, in this new world, it's impossible to predict something that's happening in 5 years, but you can't even do that. So and it's a world where, in the world of software, where people are used to releasing an earlier product and developing on it, and the world of schools is it's
dinosaurs.
Yeah, it's dinosaurs, etc. But as well, I think very often the people who are very often the students get taught by people who have the knowledge of, say, 10 years ago.
Yeah, but there's of course there's some kind of hard knowledge which you can learn and which may become obsolete within 5 years, 2 years, 10 years. You never know. Yeah. But you can also learn some kind of mentality, never to be afraid for the new, and always to think about what's good now, what is worth maintaining now, fighting for, and what becomes obsolete also in knowledge. Yeah. So then you get an atmosphere where more people are used to not be afraid of new things, and I think that's one of the things that our education system can be made better in.
Yeah. Of course, you both know about say hackathons like are happening right now. What is so good about stuff like this?
Well, stuff like this is getting to know each other and building, and really be practical. Because of course you can look on the internet and see all the things you can make with it, but now you can really see each other, touch each other, and communicate. So what are you doing, and what is your idea about it, and really make things. So this is really important.
The better you know a person, the lower the border is to look for contact. Mm-hmm. If you only know a person by his or her name, and you know that he or she is doing that. If, for instance, a person would be interested in Appril, they only know us by name and maybe they saw the picture, then the threshold to contact us is much bigger than when, hey, are you that lady from Appril? Oh, great, I've visited 3 events, blah, 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 and
I've got
a great
idea.
idea, or I've got a product that I want some exposure. Can we do something together?
Yeah.
Oh, then you can exchange a card or whatever, you can exchange phone numbers, and then it gets rolling. And that also works with knowledge and, you know, working together. If enterprises want to do something now with beacons, in the beginning you don't know where to start. Now you know the guy who produces them, you know the guy who implements them, writes the software. There are marketeers here around who can develop concepts. So that's the strength of these kinds of events, getting knowledge and getting people to know, and getting to know people.
Couldn't it be better if there was, if I say, a bigger variety of persons, of knowledge? It's still very much a developer thing, and I always think, of course, it's important that we have developers. But say if you have a team with,
of course.
but
Of course.
shouldn't you Amsterdammers put more energy in that?
Yes and no. I mean, you see a lot of people from the non-technical skills. They walk in and out. You know, they walk in at 9, drink their coffee, and they go at 12. They come in at 4, see who's doing what. So that's one thing. So knowledge is shared there. And on the other hand, once you've had your concept, it takes a lot of time to build something. What are these non-technical people going to do? Are they going to be, you know, just walk away? So I don't know whether it's very. Maybe you need another kind of events in order to get that mingled. I'm not sure if it's really a drawback. I don't know if it's in a bigger scale of other events, like all the other Amsterdam and Appril events, for instance. Then this is more technology focused. And other events, you learn about concepts, and it's more like networking. I don't see it as a drawback, to be honest.
Well, maybe it's my own problem. No, the thing is, for example, I've worked in a lot of work with. We've made available, when I worked at VPRO, our own technology in open source. But for all these sort of open source technologies I've watched, I always find the result that it's coders driven is that that's what you see when you get your backend as well. They can't imagine that the people who they want to use it as well. So I very often I think. So for example, I think Drupal said stuff about that, and I said, well, why don't you ask other people with ideas as well to think? When you say, yeah, it's okay, you can beta test. I say, no, that's not what I'm saying. I say, I've got ideas. I think how it could be better. I can't make it. That's the only thing. But of course, that's just the way.
What I've noticed that a lot of creativity comes not from Holland in a way. So interaction designers, UX designers, Dutch companies get them from outside. So we actually need to get our stuff together, all the art schools, to implement this new technology in the web design or in their design program, because it's not all about graphic design. We have so many new things going on, and they're still ahead of what's going on. So this is also a problem we have here in Holland.
Yeah. So what's the strength of Holland? What are we good at?
Well, what I've learned is that we are good in. Well, maybe I'm. In starting and inventing something, and then the concept will be taken further in another country, and then people will take it to the next level. So we are good in initiation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what do you think?
I think we're also good in that, and we're also good in. Dutch are very open and modern as a society in general. I think that's a big strength.
Yeah, and that's what you see in the developer world as well, because there's a lot of international people walking around.
Yeah, I think it's really a bridge also towards the more, what's a beautiful word for it again? The Anglo-Saxon world in the United States or Great Britain. And then some some other countries in Europe which tend to have a little bit more conservative attitude toward technology in general. And I think Holland plays a great role in that, in enabling the bridge between those two worlds.
Okay, thank you very much, and see you in April.
Yeah, thank you.
Yay!